Building inspections. Andrew Murray from Apartment Specialists. So you bought an apartment and you want to get a building inspection. So I'm just going to run you through a typical example. I've taken out the names, the address, and all the logos of the company to give you basically the essence of what is in a building report when you buy an apartment. So here we go here. So I'll just take you down. Normally I'll obviously have the address here, obviously the time, the weather. It was raining when they did the report, so that was taken into account. And I'll go briefly through it, but basically they're going through, they're looking at the building, they're looking at the structure, they're looking at the cladding, they're looking at the type of the building, and they're grading it. So this one, and they're looking at the cladding, does it have a cavity system, all that kind of thing. So here you can see pictures of the building, and they comment on it, you know, multi-level apartment complex, appears to be constructed of solid concrete and aluminium joinery. The concrete exterior appears to have some plastic walls with various detailing and features. The ground floor has a small flat roof over it, which is clad in waterproofing membrane system. So what they do is they then, if they can, they'll look on the roof, they'll look around areas to look at the cladding, to look at, for example, in this membrane situation. So I've seen that they can see on top of the roof, and you can see here where you've got the membrane where it joins, so they look at that, and they can see here where there's been water pooling. Obviously it's wet, it's just rained, and they talk about that, and they look into it and see, you know, is that membrane performing? Are there any visual signs of, you know, of any water ingress or that membrane failing? Bear in mind that they can't actually, you know, dig into it, but the best they can do, and the people you hire would generally be experts. Now, which is good. And then what they also do then is they go into the apartment, and they have different ways of looking at the apartment. Obviously they'll look at it and take photos and see if there's any obvious water damage, but you as a purchaser would be able to do that. So then they come in with moisture readings and sort of infrared sort of camera kind of things, and you can see this here, where obviously the red is showing the moisture and all that kind of thing. And here it says, you know, the thermal image shows no thermal anomalies. Moisture readings taken in this area measured dry at time of inspection, even though it was a very wet day. Okay, so you can see the window here, and you can see where, you know, obviously the photo without the moisture gun or photographer or whatever you call it. Okay, so they're taking photos there. You can see there's no real moisture at all. Okay, so that's pretty cool. And you know, you can actually see visual images of what it all looks like. And then here they also use what's called, it's a moisture reading where I see them doing it, they put it against it, and that metal thing there will actually, you know, give you a reading. So if it's above 40, that's seen as damp, and if it's above 80, it's seen as wet. Okay, so you want it to be, so you really, they look especially around all the water, I mean the windows and the showers, everything where water would be, and see how high that is. Okay, so it sees it's dry at the time of inspection, even though that's when it's just been after, you know, raining, you'd think there'd be some moisture around the windows. See here, it's open and it's still 35, so it's good. And here you can see where they've gone, and you can see right around the shower. Okay, so you've got 27 there, which is fine, but then here, obviously, where they open the door, and you can see obviously some kind of water. I mean, you'd expect that in a shower with condensation, all that kind of thing, coming up to 50, so it's a little bit damp. Okay, it says that down there. What they do then is obviously inspect the whole apartment, seeing if there's any, you know, areas, and they comment here it's in good condition, even though obviously the tenants are a little bit messy, or previous owners. Then what they do is they go around the whole complex, check out obviously the sprinkler systems, the alarm systems, the lighting, the condition of the apartment, not a complex, not just the apartment, and then they do a summary. They'll often also have a disclaimer in here, basically saying that, you know, they can't guarantee that what they're saying is 100%, but this is, you know, the best they can do. They obviously can't go through putting holes in walls and things like that, and they'll also, you know, give a risk here. So basically they'll say it's a very low risk. The apartment's exterior appeared to be concrete, which is extremely robust and good product in terms of waterproofing, etc., 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 and it goes through that. So it's very good to get a building inspection. I don't think, unless if you, I mean, obviously I know most buildings, but I think you should probably always get one. I don't see why you shouldn't. And when you think about how much money you're spending, and a building inspection is only generally about $500, $600, it's probably something you should do every time when you think about the risk you're taking when buying an apartment. No, because the thing is, the better your due diligence, the minimal the risk. And if you do very, very good due diligence, you're basically making your risk as close to zero as possible. So that's why, you know, if you're spending hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, you might as well spend that extra $2,000 or $3,000 just on your due diligence to make sure that your purchase is 100%. Because you'll be kicking yourself if you miss something when something as simple as a building inspection could have brought that up. Anyway, I hope that helps, and yeah, talk soon. Cheers. Bye.